Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here for my February monthly wrap-up. I have 10 books that I finished this month. 2 of them I had started on previous months, but I'm excited to have finished them. I don't know why it took me so long to finish them. They're both amazing books, but I started them over the summer and then put them down and didn't pick them up again. So the first book that I finished is called The Shoebox Funerals. It is, I'll have to put a picture up for you because I haven't seen it in stores. I don't know if it's a book that you can get print copy. I got it from NetGalley. It was one of the just read now books, and it was beautiful. It's about this girl who grew up in the 80s, but she grew up in this little tiny town on a ranch, and the story is told about her life experiences through the animals that she had on her ranch. All the cats that she had, because she had dozens and dozens of stray cats that would come in. She had dogs, she had birds, she had all sorts of different kinds of animals, and the whole story is told through the life and death of all these animals. And it was oddly beautiful. And there's pictures in it, and I wish I had had a real copy of it, because I was a little bit bummed out that I was reading it on my Kindle because it just doesn't have the same punch to it. So if I ever see it in print copy, I will definitely buy it. It was an amazing little story. The other book that was on the bottom of my pile is Nevernight. I would love to know why it took me so long to pick this back up. I know I started reading it before one of our trips. So I had picked it up, I'd read the first little chunk of it, and then I had put it down so that way I could go on one of our trips back to the States, because I don't tend to read physical books when I'm on these trips. I tend to read my Kindle. And so I picked it back up, and then we went to Hawaii. And so I read it a little bit while we were in Hawaii, and I finished it as soon as we got back. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The beginning is a little bit slow. So we're following Mia as she, it goes a little bit of background on her. Her parents were murdered by the political leaders in the city that she lives in. And she grows up and wants to become an assassin so that she can kill them all. And the beginning of the book follows her getting to the school. That part was a little bit slow. It was a little bit hard to get through for me because it has a lot of little author's notes in here, and it was very, very political. But once you got into the story and she was at the school, it just flew by. It was amazing, and I'm looking forward to reading the next one, which is right here. But I've been stuck reading buddy reads with my friends and having too much fun to get to the next one. So it'll happen soon though. I really, really enjoyed this book. I thought it was very, very good. Now, the rest of the books I started and finished this month, at least I think I did. The only other book that I may have started previously to this month, I think I did. It's a Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I think I finished it. I think I started it at the very beginning of February, the very end of January. I think I started it on the plane ride home from Hawaii. And if I did, then it was the end of January. But I just finished it, so my reread of Harry Potter is now complete. And I'm definitely gonna have to read this more often, because this was my second full reread of Harry Potter since I read it to begin with. I had read bits and pieces of it, I had read books here and there, but this is my second time going all the way through the entire series. I listened to it on my Audible account, and I absolutely loved it. So I will definitely have to do rereads more often, because once every 10 years is not enough. It was so good. I love it. Poor Delby. All right, rest of my books. I'm gonna go through the standalones that I have first, or ones that are part of other series first, and then I'll hit the full trilogy that I read this month. So the next book that I read was Queen of the Dead. I had read The Ghost and the Goth a couple of months ago. It was a quick, easy, fun read, so I picked this up while I was in the middle of the trilogy that I read this month, because we finished book 1 and my friend hadn't gotten her book 2 yet, so she wanted me to wait for her. So I slogged through this, wanting to read book 2 really bad. And I really liked it. It was really cute. And I think that if I had read it not when I was putting off reading a book that I really wanted to, I would have enjoyed this a lot more. So I'm going to definitely read the 3rd book, but I'm going to read it on my timeline when I want to, and not because I'm trying to avoid a book that I'd rather read. But it was really cute. It's about this girl who's super popular, and she gets hit by a bus because her parents won't stop bickering, and she gets in the middle of it, is not paying attention, and walks right out in front of a school bus. And then she's trying to fix the problems that have cropped up, and she finds the goth who is able to hear her and see her and make actual physical contact with her. This is just the sequel to it. It was cute. I liked it. The next book that I read for the Owl Crate readathon was Foolish Hearts, and I adored it. I read it in one night. I started at like 8 o'clock one night and I finished it at 3:30 in the morning. It was so cute. It's about this girl who goes to, it's about this girl named Claudia who goes to an all-girls school, and she accidentally overhears the breakup of 2 of her classmates. And when the 2 girls find out that she's overheard their entire breakup, she kind of gets shunned by both of them, and she gets put into a class project with the less pleasant of the couple, and she totally sabotages it and makes it so that her and Claudia both failed the project. And as an extra credit, time to get along, the lit teacher suggests that they try out for A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it's one of those plays where even if you don't get cast in the play, you work on the background stuff. So both of the girls are stuck working on this play. One of them is an actor and one of them is backstage. And it's all about the little shenanigans that happen. There's a love story in it, and it's really, really cute. I absolutely loved it, and I am so glad I read it. The other book that I read for the Owl Crate readathon was Roseblood. Roseblood took me a little bit longer because it's a little bit denser, and like Foolish Hearts was so cute. It's just a flyby type of book. This one's a little bit denser. I don't have any experience with the Phantom of the Opera, and this book takes place post Phantom of the Opera. So what A.G. Howard does is she takes well-known fairy tales, and then she writes the what happens next. So her Splintered series is based off of Alice in Wonderland and what happens when Alice comes back from Wonderland. This is a what happens after the Phantom of the Opera. It's about Rune, and Rune is the soul and voice of the Phantom's love, Christine. And the Phantom basically stalks her to come back to the same theater that he haunted and fell in love with his Christine. And it's all about the things that happen, what the Phantom wants from her, and the school that now resides in the opera house. It was weird. It was good. I enjoyed it a lot. This book I did not enjoy so much. This is Who is AC? It is a graphic novel of a superhero by accident. And so it starts off with this girl on a plane, and her phone starts ringing while she's on the plane, which doesn't make any sense. She shouldn't have any reception. So she goes into the bathroom, it shows her a bunch of numbers, and then she blacks out, and next thing she knows, she's waking up because they've landed. And then the book goes on to talk about how she becomes a superhero. And I think it had a lot of potential. The pictures are beautiful. They're almost all black and white. There's little spots of color in them. There's like some purple here and there in the pictures. There's a few that actually are like dominated by purple. But anything that has to do with The girl herself is all purple, and her alter ego, who they keep calling AC. So trying to figure out who she is, what she wants, that type of thing. It fell really, really flat for me. Even though the pictures are beautiful, it just felt like there was no point into the book. So, whoops. All right, and then my series. This month, I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin. I am Sarah J. Maas trash just from these 3 books, and I am so excited about the little novella that's coming up in May. I love them so much. I couldn't get, I love them. I even went on Etsy and bought a bunch of, you know, ACOTAR fandom stuff in the middle of all this. After I finished the first 2 books, I went and bought a bunch of the fandom stuff. And so once everything gets here, I'll do a little mini haul of my fandom merchandise that I got from Etsy. But until it all gets here, I've got about half of it right now. I don't even know where to go with this. I know that these are all really tellings. I'm not really sure where okay, how do I do this without giving anything away? This one is basically a Beauty and the Beast book. Everybody talks about it, how she kills a wolf in the beginning of the book because the wolf is going to go after a doe that she found in the forest in the middle of the winter when she was starving. And so in order to have the doe for her and our family, Feyre shoots the wolf, even knowing that there's a very good possibility he's Fey, and skinning him and selling his pelt while taking the doe for herself. It definitely has a lot of Beauty and the Beast vibes. This one's a continuation, and I cannot figure out where the base story for this one came from. I can totally tell where the base story for the other 2 came from. This one, I wasn't so sure. And this one, funny enough, has Bible references in it. There's little things like there's Passover references, and there's Moses references. There's all sorts of little Old Testament references. There's angel references. It's just, I thought it was really cool. I thought they did it really well. It's not biblical in any way. It's not going to ruin the book for somebody who has not or does not care about the Bible. It just has inspiration from some of the stories out of the Bible. But as a whole, this may be one of my favorite new series. Of course, nothing is going to trump like Harry Potter, but this is definitely really, really high up there on my list. And if her Throne of Glass series is even half as good as this one is, I will be trashed for that one too. I've heard it's not as good. Even my friends who are currently I have a friend that's currently reading Throne of Glass because she read these ones with me. She said it's not as good, but she's really, really enjoying it, and she heard that the first book is a little bit slow and that it picks up from there. So I am looking forward to reading that one, but I have a long list of books to read, so it'll be here soon. I just don't know when. But that is it for my monthly wrap up, my 10 books that I managed to read through in the month of February. And here is my stack. With the exception of this, I think I had a very good reading month. They were all 4s and 5s pretty much, and I'm happy. Okay, so I will see you guys in another video very soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.